Hi, good afternoon and good morning to those on the West Coast. This is Lisa Kineska, and I'm here with our Oreo team. Welcome to our August OSC call. As you know, normally Tim gets us started on these calls, but he's on a well-deserved vacation this week, so I'll get us going. But he did want to say that he thanks you for your business in July and looks forward to everything that we have going on for August. We'll go through our normal agenda. I'll be, again, the guest host for the July Business Review. I'll go through our Saab programs and recalls, and then Larry will go through warranty updates. Kathy will do our marketing, and of course, our famous Jeff's Tech Corner by Jeff. And John will go through our Saab original parts tips. For the month in July in review, again, sales were expectedly seasonally declined from June's peak levels that we had. We did start out the month strong, but as the month went on with some shops with reduced staffing or hours due to vacations and some of our OSCs attending the owners convention, there was a slight decline, but our month, we did meet the forecast for the month. Our strongest categories for July were tires and oil, so our maintenance items. Electric parts were down a little bit from the last few months where we've had gainings, but it was still strong. And then crash parts were a little bit soft for this month. As many of you may have known, with some of our back orders, we did get 2 sea containers into our warehouse at PDC in July. A third container did arrive and will be confirmed this week, so you should see some of those back orders ship out. Some great updates on the Kenwood infotainment system that many of you have been waiting and asking about. There has been some delays over the last year with the supply chain issues. However, we've switched to another Kenwood unit and should hopefully have stock by later this month. And John will go into some more of that later on in the call. And Trionics, the famous T8s. I know we hear a lot about this as well. I know John does as well. We're continuing to work with our suppliers. We have 2 suppliers that we're working with, ramping up production, hopefully to get more in. We did receive some units this week, and John's been working with the shops and got those shipped out this week already as well. And then in July was the Saab Owners Convention in the Saab Museum in Sturgis, South Dakota. Great attendance, over 500 attendees, over 200 plus Saab cars registered. Tim did do a presentation on our Rio and talked about our OSCs and threw all those to the Saab customers. And again, here's the Owners Convention, just a few highlights. Again, Tim and Jeff both did presentations, and there's Michelle manning our Saab original booth. And there's more pictures in the What's New on our Rio Auto Parts website as well. And then, as I mentioned, Tim did a welcome dinner speech and a presentation on our Rio and our OSCs, and he played a fun game of trivia and talked about Saab parts and asked about how many Saab OSCs we have. And a few of our OSCs actually did long road trips to the Owners Convention, and here's a highlight of the ones that made the trip. Heather and Gary down in Vero Beach at Vigan Automotive Performance drove to Sturgis, made several tourist stops along the way, and spent $785 on gas in their red convertible, and I think she said about 28 miles per gallon, so it's pretty awesome. You'll see there Gary at the Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado. And then another one of our OSCs, Scan West Autosport out west, they donated their rally car that they've had there at their shop to the museum and brought their entire team out to Sturgis for the convention, which was pretty cool. And Teleferraro Imports, Nick drove his brown 1972 V4 wagon that he bought back in high school, 2,000 miles roughly to and from Sturgis. In Meyer Garage, Marty, he sits on the board of directors for the museum. He took part of his family out to Sturgis and stayed the entire week ahead of time and worked on the cars at the museum. And Jim down at Smart Motors, he drove a school bus that he's converting to the convention and brought along plenty of his Saab stuff with him to sell at the convention as well. And here's just a group shot from the convention with all the Saab enthusiasts and some of the OSCs. Again, thank you for the month of July and look forward to August. And then we'll continue on to the Saab programs. We did announce our Saab Service Center Satisfaction Survey around the 3rd week in July. Sent it out, put it on our website. We got great feedback. A lot of our shops completed the survey, so thank you. Tim will be reviewing the survey and providing and the feedback provided as well. And then another exciting announcement for August will be Beat the Heat and Your Sales Goal promotion. 2 of our OSCs that beat their sales goal will be entered and win 2 $100 gift cards. So 2 winners. Drawing will be on September 1st. You get an entry for meeting your sales goal, and depending on how much your sales goal is, how much you purchase, you'll earn additional entries as well. And then again, every month I do go through our tire promotions from TR Wholesale Solutions. Tire is a great opportunity with Tire Center to purchase tires for your Saabs, but also any other brands that you service there at your shop as well. Currently for the month of August, there's a $100 prepaid gift card for up to 4 qualifying Continental tires purchased from the 1st through the 31st of August. I anticipate there might be some more coming, so be sure to look in our reference library under our tire and oil and battery folder for any new additional promotions, but also on the TR Wholesale Solutions website, they do list the promotions as well. And then each month I go through the communications that General Motors sends out to our Saab recall airbag customers. So in case any customers come into your shop, you'll know what they're talking about with their mailers. They're doing a direct mail piece on the 15th and the 25th of this month. And other communications are ongoing. DMV mailers, General Motors does partner with DMVs and Secretary of States in each of the states. Virginia, they did a mailer on the 22nd of July. And as of right now, anticipated date for South Carolina is on the 22nd of August. And now I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Larry for a little bit on the warranty updates.
Thank you, Lisa. Now, on the June call, we had mentioned that the webinar for the vehicle recall and warranty had been updated and re-recorded. And then in July, on the July call, we announced the webinar for the parts warranty has been updated. But I wanted to mention these again because I know June and July are big vacation months and a lot of people may have missed the calls. So I just wanted to be sure that everyone is aware of the updated webinars. The webinars have been completely re-recorded and we've added a lot of additional information. The recordings and the slides are both posted in the reference library. And as I mentioned on the previous calls, they can be used for training new employees and warranty administrators or just as a refresher. We've added information on some of the common mistakes that we see and other things that you should watch out for when submitting warranty claims. There's information on the claim approval and payment process and information on claim submission time and how long warranty parts must be retained. And this is a question that comes up a lot. A lot of people ask how long they have to keep warranty parts. Now, we've also included information on how to edit return claims and submit for additional credits. And there's some examples of common error messages that you may get and what these error messages mean. And we've included some reasons that claims could be rejected. Next slide, please. Now, on the part warranty webinar, we've added information on adding attachments and things that you can do to attach large files. And we even have an example of how to reduce, or examples of how to reduce file size of a large file. Now, we also include information on running reports in the WRC system so that you get the claim detail for warranty payments and amounts that are on your remittance advice. This is another thing that comes up a lot. People get a remittance advice and say, okay, what is this for? And we've provided information on how to determine that. Now, the other thing that's new that we've added in there is on parts for life claims. Many of the parts that were registered as parts for life may now be out of the 36-month, 36,000 mile warranty. So you may be seeing some of these customers coming in requesting warranty under parts for life. So we've tried to make these webinars as complete as possible. And just one more reminder that one-on-one warranty training is always available. Just contact the warranty department and we can set up a time that fits your schedule. Now below is a screenshot on where these webinars are located in the reference library. And with that, I'll now turn it over to Kathy for the marketing update.
All right, thank you, Larry. So I'm going to quickly go over what we currently have up on the banner. We have the Beat the Heat and your sales goals for August. So if you meet your sales goals, you'll get an entry. If you get double your sales goals, you'll get 2 entries, and et cetera, and the drawing will be done on September 1st. And as Lisa mentioned, we did have the owners convention. The photo gallery is out on the portal. It's also on the blog. At the bottom of the screen, you will see the link to go to the photo gallery. And I did include just a few interesting pictures of the slides, some of the slides that are in the slideshow. This is Bob Sinclair with his 2-stroke motorcycle. There are some more pictures on the slideshow, but this is just one of them. This is the Saab Airport runway tire friction tester car that was inside the museum. And then another car that was inside the museum was the push me, pull me vehicle that was made by some technical staff. So I thought those were pretty interesting. And then this is just a beautiful photo of the Black Hills tour on the way to Mount Rushmore. So I wanted to include that. And then on the left is Devil's Tower, and on the right is another one of Mount Rushmore. And then I just added this recently. These are some parts that are now in stock. I just wanted to bring your attention to them so you can look at them out there. And then again, I kept up the convertible parts for the summer. There will be a new parts brochure next month, but this one is still up there for those of you that are interested. And then again, just the clearance parts. And take a look at what we have, and just remember there's no warranties or returns on these parts. And then we did send an email out to our Saab parts subscribers in July. It was summer at its best. We included the sun visor shield since it is very warm outside, which sends them over to the gear store and buys them up some upcoming events. And then also at the bottom, I'm sorry, also if you could go back, Lisa, also at the bottom it shows the service centers and authorized partners. And I just wanted to bring to your attention, this is a snapshot from Moosen, which is what we use to send these out. And each circle represents how many clicks we had on each one of those links. And then just a reminder of our social media. We did have our posts out there on Facebook from the SOC, and then right now on Instagram is in reference to the 94X windshields. And then my last slide is just a reminder of the blog. If you want to go to the bottom of the portal, you can click there, and you can also click on go to blogs at aeroautoparts.com. One last thing I don't have a slide of, but you will see now in the what's new section, and John's going to be mentioning this, is the buyback reward program. There is a new part that was added to that. And if you go to the portal, you can click on it to print out that document, and John will also be mentioning that. And I will now turn it over to Jeff.
Thanks, Kathy. You'd have thought I'd have been ready knowing you was about to get done, but that remained to be seen. Welcome, everybody, and welcome to Jeff's Corner for August. This month, we want to talk about an exciting new system that we've built. This is something that, in conjunction with Sweden, myself, and our IT department here, we have worked tirelessly for the last few months to bring you the Aero Academy. Now, this is something that we're reintroducing for our service technicians. We realize that as the business grows, we have new technicians that come on as the old guys retire, like myself. And so that's always a challenge, and really training has always been a challenge in our industry. Next slide, please. So the link to this is going to be under the tech resources. Right there, you can see the link is shown. It won't be live until 3 p.m. I think the beta is still going right now, but that's just something we'll just do At this point, it's just really an administrative function, and we'll turn it and make it live. So this is where you will go to find the Academy under the Tech Resources. Next slide, please. And that's going to bring you to a login. Now, if you get this login, you will use the same. We have set this up to where it mirrors your login to the Rio site. So whatever your login is to the Rio site, that is the same login that you will use here. And so we try to keep that as simple as possible. After you get past that, first-time users will see this new technician box. You'll see, because our store has these 4 users set up, we will see that. You will always see the users in your store. But you'll go to new technician, you'll set it up. You just enter your name. There's not a lot of administrative details here. We're very simple with that. Enter your name and click save, and then bing, we're on to the Academy itself. The best part about this Academy is you can choose how and what and when you want to learn. We have basically created this with, we're going to have certifications. Initially, we just have the associate certification, which is our entry level. We also have a learn at your own pace, and we're going to have my course features. Now, basically, at the moment, I believe we have 25 odd or so classes in the portal. That will actually change. We'll be adding and maybe subtracting some going forward at all times as we get feedback from you guys. But it's for, like instance, if you want to, you're a new technician and you want to start on something, just click on Get Certified to start your certification. Next slide, please. And like I said before, if you don't want to go down the exact path, something else you want to look at, or you just want to peruse the catalog, we also have topics and different categories you can go into. There's some of these pieces in here are almost strictly informational. Some of the stuff and it is more class or technician driven. And it's really just going to depend on how we go forward and the feedback and stuff that we get, and we try to offer everything as much as we can. Next slide, please. So initially, as I said, we're going to have 3 levels of certification. We'll start out with the associate, then we'll have the qualified, and then we'll have the master. If any of you long-term users on here, you'll remember that's exactly what Saab had prior to GM taking over. And we got with the GM business, we were inside the GM Technical College, so everything changed, and that actually drove a lot of this training issue because we don't have any access to any of the GM information. We do, but it's not in a very good format that we can prevent. So you can see here the initial course pass for the associate technician contains 9 lessons or classes. Some of these are very quick. I know we have times on every class to kind of give you an estimate of how long it could take. Some of the classes, like I said, are almost just an informational class, some of the key programming classes especially. So it may not take you 15 minutes or the full hour to do the course, but that's just, we had to give something in there for some kind of time frame. Next slide, please. So as you can see here, we talk about, this is the associate course path, and you can see we have some ASE classes, we have some CAN Plus classes, we have some key programming, Tech 2, and WIS. And so what I've tried to do in this particular path is just get the technician familiar with the Saab way of thinking and our way of working on cars. Also, one of the things we've been able to leverage in this is ASE, most of you guys know those, the American Society of Engineers, has granted us permission to use some of their videos that they post online. Now you can see the 2 that we have here are enhancing your electrical diagnostic skills and exploration of CAN bus, GM land systems networks. Now, while neither of these speak directly to Saab, they do speak directly to the systems we use. As you know, or should know, or may not know, the 9.3, 9.5, 9.4X, 9.7, all of those are GM-based CAN systems. So if you understand one, you'll understand them all. And that's just kind of the thought behind those. So those are videos, and those actually will be a 1-hour video. It will take an hour to watch those because they are that length, but those are some really good pieces that you can leverage for your stores. All right, next slide, please. And here's an example of one of the keys. Can't talk today, I apologize. One of the examples of the key programming. And you can see when you select the course, it just pops up on the right-hand side, and you just literally start taking the course. Now, the beauty of all of these is this also becomes a repository for information that you can refer back to. So if you have an issue with a programming a key on a 9.3, you can just pop back into this course, follow all the steps by steps, see what you may have missed or might have done wrong, and hopefully, fix the car and move on about your day. One of the last things that we're still in developing is some tests, and that's upon me, and I've just got to finish that up. But we hope nobody gets to that point yet. But I'm sure there'll be quite a few of our users out there that can get to there. So what you want to do, if you want to add a class, you just basically you click on the class from the main homepage. It'll bring you to that class, and you just click on Add to My Classes. And then as you come in, that class will present itself to you in your course list. Now, one of the things we have done, next slide please, as well, is that we've made sure that all of these classes can be, if it's a PDF, it can be printed, downloaded, or saved to your local machine, which is a very nice feature. If you don't want to have to, especially if you're off-site or something, you don't have to take the time to log in, or but either way, it's there, and we make it available for you. One of the other things we have done as well is that if you have to stop in the middle of a course, the way we have built this system is when you come back to the system, it will rejoin at the same point. So that's a nice feature as well. Next slide, please. So again, that's what we talked about here. The course is designed to bring you back to the last completed section. You can print and do everything with all the different PDFs, as long as it's PDF. I'm not sure about the video, being able to download that yet. That's an embedded piece, so I'm not sure how that would work. But next slide, please. So what you want to do to start your certification, all you would do after you log in is click Get Certified from the home page, and then it will actually bring you to the Saab Associate Technician. This is where it's a little bit different, and I'm going to maybe talk with our IT and see if we can tweak this a little bit. But if you hover over the area in the top right, there becomes a hot link that takes you to the course. Next slide, please. And then you can just simply add that to My Courses, and it will add that complete course group to your courses. And if you can see mine, I actually have, I think, 12 or 13 that I have added but have yet to take. But that's on me. But I'll get those done soon. Next slide, please. So, and to view your selected classes, you can click on the drop-down menu under your name on the top right, and then select My Courses. And then the selected courses are shown there. You can see I have added the key programming and the Saab Associate Technician path to mine. And you can see on the right, we have lectures taken, we have completed lectures, and then we have action. So it'll give you, keep track of where you're at. Next slide, please. So right now, unless I've changed anything, which I don't remember, this is the available classes we have at launch. So you can see there's quite a variety of different things in here. We cover all the main key programming, some basic WIS training, which the reality of WIS, if you need help with that, that's something like Larry does. I'll be glad to help you guys on a one-on-one basis. The realities of WIS are it's one of those tools that you become more confident with it as you use it. So the less you use it, the less confident you will be. But it's a great system, and we can help. But I always give you some tips, and obviously there's some tips in here. Next slide, please. So as we kind of wrap up today, I just want to say that any questions, comments, and feedback you have is greatly appreciated. Obviously, with the launch of this program, it's brand new. We may have some hiccups. I hope that we do not, but you can't ever tell. But we'll gladly work through them, and we hope we can continue to develop this and continue to develop your technicians and keep them here. And because a well-trained technician or a trained technician that has some basic knowledge is always much better, especially going in to work on a car. They just have a better mindset, and it helps everybody involved. All right. And last but not least, I too am going to speak a little bit about the convention. You can see here Tim talking about talking with Tom Donnie and some of the guys there on the left. That actually might be Greg Andreessen, and looks like I don't remember his name, and I'm going to get select for that. But at any rate, here's our booth on the right. Next slide, please. And you can see here was the parts tent. This was actually quite a treasure trove of old parts and stuff that you might have never seen or may never see again. And then here's one of our favorite friends from the parking lot that I made. And last but not least, here was some of the stuff from the convention. Tom had made up a fresh batch of beer, so we actually had museum grade beer. And you can see there in the middle is the piece that I managed to find, which I've been looking for almost 20 years, which is a coffee cup that looks like the old oil filters. And last but not least, just for fun, here's a cooling fan from a classic 900 that I snuggled back in my luggage without getting a TSA search, which was amazing. But I'm guessing they're used to seeing some stuff at some point. But at any rate, with that, I'm going to close it up and hand it off to John. And I hope everybody has a wonderful August, and we'll see you next month.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Maybe I'll take your WIS class and finally get a grip on WIS after all these decades. Going to start off, if you're probably aware, but if not, early in the spring, we finally got stock of 94X windshields. There's several boxed up, ready to go now. It does take quite a long time to pre-box them because they were just shipped in bulk crates. Was the prices, it's not bad for a 94X windshield, but finally available again, and more to come. And there's some that you can't see because they're just still sitting in crates. And then discovered this convertible switch, fifth bow switch recently, that Sweden came out with an alternative repair kit, 320224444. We just found this a couple of weeks ago, and it's on order to Sweden, replacing the original part that is NLS. I wanted to talk about spark plugs. A couple of OSCs had requested we offer a cooler spark plug for the early 9.5 and 9.3s. It is now in stock, 9188-681, as well as the original spark plug. You probably have noticed that two of the original custom-made lock cylinders are currently NLS, and we're not sure that Sweden's ever going to get parts again to custom build them. So they have superseded to they had quite a bit of stock of randomly coded pre-made lock cylinders that do come with two pre-cut keys. Unfortunately, the customer would have two different keys, but it's at least something to offer them, and most of the cars just worked with the remote anyway, so just so you're aware of that. And then Kathy touched on that there is now a fourth part on the buyback $25 per reward, and that is the steering column lock modules for the new 9.3. Sweden did find a vendor that is able to rebuild them since the originals are NLS. There's an updated form of the reference library, and we are going to pay $25 per, like the other buyback units. So please scour your shelves or any wrecked cars and send them in. And several of us thought we would show some of Tim's speech. Here's some highlight slides at the owners convention. First, just a reminder for everybody about what you can still get to dress up Saabs, that terrific looking Griffin bumper kit. There were a lot of cars at the convention that had that. These turbine wheels continue to be popular, and there's a couple other wheels, the 10 spokes that we talked about in previous calls. Still get touch-up paint from our US supplier, and just in the last couple of months we reintroduced some classic emblems. Some of them go all the way back to the 1960s. Still stock of the wind deflector for the convertible, and you may have noticed there was quite a sell down price of overstock of headlights, which are really terrific prices, and they've been selling pretty well. Tim also mentioned about Sweden in the last year or so has contracted a 3D printing company and has been working on some parts, where it is financially viable. And the next slide, you can see a list of what they have been making. And at the very bottom is a discontinued door pull handle that they are going to start work on when they come back from their summer vacation, which will be great for the new 9.3. And we've been talking about a lot, but the latest information is that Kenwood will finally have this radio in their warehouses, hopefully the end of August. Jeff may need to retest it because it might be a slightly different model and make sure all the wiring adapter harnesses are the same. But I know there's been a ton of interest for this unit. So hopefully we're getting light at the end of the tunnel.
John, I just got an update actually moments ago. So hopefully we will have something very soon. It will be an updated model, just slightly different from this. The buttons will be not on the bottom. You'll have a digital set of buttons across the left side. But it's a very nice model. Actually has a couple more features, and the pricing is going to be right where we wanted it to be. So
terrific. Good to hear. Thank you. And then our monthly eye chart, but Kathy earlier slide talked about most of the highlights, but parts that have come off a back order since our last conference call. And then the next slide is additional parts are already in stock. Some are on that container being worked on right now, and they're all coming soon. And in my monthly fun with Photoshop, there's me as Elvis talking about our cores and our buybacks. Again, the new steering column lock, we want those too. And I'll spare you my singing abilities here, but I showed that picture of my family that about fell off their chairs. Anyway, next. And then every so often I find some crazy Saab photos on Facebook. This was my favorite this month. I love the spoiler on the back and the phrase, not fast, but furious and regal. And if you look carefully at the upper right picture, it looks like that car is for sale. So I'm sure you can still buy that. And then lastly, every month I try to find something of interest. I thought this month we all need a laugh from the famous Lucille Ball after watching that movie with Nicole Kidman on Amazon, which is really good. And Lucy, some of her great quotes, the secret of staying young is to live honestly, eat slowly, and lie about your age. You see much more of your children once they leave home. A man who correctly guesses a woman's age may be smart, but he's not very bright. And lastly, once in his life, every man is entitled to fall madly in love with a gorgeous redhead. I agree with that. It happened to me twice. Okay. So thank you, everybody.
All right. Thanks, John. Thanks, everyone. If you have any questions, please just type in your questions. We'd be happy to answer any of them for you, or send an email to our customer service at ario.com email. We can answer questions there as well, or reach out to any of us and we'd be happy to answer questions as well. I don't see any questions, so I will go ahead and end it again. Thank you all for joining us this month. And Tim will be back next month to start our call off. And have a wonderful rest of your day.